So this is not normally where I start my episodes, but funnily enough, look at that big important thing next to my cursor. I think I may have figured out what happened inside the Stingray. I had the critical reactor explosions mod installed, which means when a reactor breaks, it explodes. Now, I guess it doesn't do as big a visual effect as like the reactor explosion mod. If you've never seen it, it like shoots light everywhere, everything goes white for a second, blocks are flung miles. It's insane. This, I think, just makes it act more like when a tank explodes, like a hydrogen tank. But yeah, I'd completely forgotten that this was a mod I'd installed. And guess what? One well-placed railgun hitting a reactor probably could have done this quite easily. So that's that. That said, now that I'm aware of it, this is probably a mistake. I'm going to leave it in, because explosions are fun. Alright, now the first thing I'm going to do here, I kind of want to go fairly quickly. I need... Oh. Without the without the repair projector on, it really shows how empty this is now. I think... Where to do this? Where to do this that still has wall?
Energy low.
I'm gonna really quickly slap a gyro or two on, just so that we can get mobile. So, I realized, and many people have requested things. So I realized I was previously like, well, okay, I've got to abandon the space. This is a free-floating space station. I don't have to abandon the base. I can take the base with me. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. There'll probably be some eventual modifications of the base that go on, namely being stuffing it inside an asteroid, but I think I can keep the bulk of it without having to worry about, you know, the main reason I wanted to get rid of it was partially because at the time I was annoyed at the amount of damage, and partially because it's kind of an excessive amount of stuff. I could make a much simpler base that would serve me better stuffed inside an asteroid, and it would probably be easier than just build from scratch, you know, inside where I know it'll fit because I'm building it as I go. But that's almost the exact reason why I want to do a silly way. Because if I do it silly, I have to try and stuff this in a hole, and that'll be fun. So, okay. We have a single underpowered gyro. Oh god, it's underpowered. Oh, so heavy. I may have to add more. What is... Okay, that's just the normal amount of stuff smoking. Let's turn off the barracudas. Can do that from in here. So, my plan... if you remember... Dear viewers, so many things to do. If you remember, dear viewers, when we were originally looking at the range for the Mega Jump Drive, we saw that it had an insane amount of range while hooked up to the base. So if I rehook up to the base, I should... Do I still have thrust? I think I have thrust in every direction. So if I hook up to the base, I should be able to jump the whole thing quite a distance. I may also really quickly merge the Maluga and its jump drive onto the Stingray, just so I can use its jump range as well, because I don't think that works through connectors. my plan is to go far away from here, far away from the pain. And then we'll find an asteroid that seems safe and stuff ourselves in it. I also, if we have time, and I think once we move, I should have some time to repair the Stingray and do some upgrades. You know, once we navigate to a less heavily trafficked part of space. But there are some upgrades I wanted to do last episode that obviously I was, you know, too busy with other things to get done. And there are some upgrades that now I think will be helpful. We're probably doing a full refit of the Stingray is what we're looking at. This is gonna be the Super Stingray. Is what I'm thinking of creating here, because there are some... I overshot. Yeah, there are some design considerations that I think will help. I know more, so I can use some of what I've learned to make this thing better. Am I gonna hit the gantry? No, I'll be good. Yeah. I know things that should make this work better. And yeah, there are a bunch of ideas I've got. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, conveying is broken somewhere. Cannot get oxygen through that hole. I also, so another benefit of being, those are not. Oh. There's your problem. Yeah, the other benefit of hooking up, I think I could have checked moments ago, but I didn't. I think part of my issue with the Stingray, so I realized the Stingray has been base defense. Things that have come in generally get blasted by it, and everything goes fine. Because I'd taken the Stingray out and done a bunch of fighting, I think, and we've run into this issue before, I think it's not actually got enough ammo on it for the amount of bullets it likes to throw. So, I think it was out of ammo during the latter half. When the pirate came in, it should have been within range to at least shoot at it a bit, and it had nothing. And I think that's because it had nothing to throw. So, hooking up, it now has all the ammo on the base, which means for the moment we are defended against anything coming in now. Had I sort of realized that scenario, it would have probably been good to just focus on getting hooked back up to the base somehow, or hand ferrying some bullets. Let's also do this, because while the Stingray does have a big jump drive, it does not have a bunch of power generation anymore. It's kind of limited to the, well, it's got 4 small reactors sort of in the auxiliary rear area. Which, yeah, is enough for it to operate, but probably not enough for it to charge a jump. So I think that thruster will be fine. Oh, and now that we're docked up too, I don't think this will do much, because I think most of the necessary repair welders have been blown up. Another issue in the combat scenario, I didn't have my repair welders on. Yeah, nothing's happened. I didn't think... there's a bit of... Hold on. There's a bit of sparking. I think it's just that block. Oh no, it's this broken light. But yeah, I think the main thing the repair projector may have helped with was this area up here, but I'm pretty sure this hole was instantly created by a missile. So I don't think I think the repair projector was instantly wiped out with everything else, so it wouldn't have really helped much. Let's go in and turn on the repair projector again real quick, just to do any repairing that it can automatically. I think that would have been it. Yeah. So at least for the moment, all the guns will be self-repairing. I don't know why I turn... Well, I guess it's good to be able to turn them off, but I don't know why I ever do. Unless I have to, like, go poke around right next to one. Let's do a quick... Scopes are clear at the moment, so we have some time. Let's do a quick test. So the Prototech drive at full chutzpah is 6,000 kilometers with everything connected. So that's pretty good. If I... first, let's see if the... Yeah, the jump drive here, it's still in operation. I don't know. I'm down here. I feel like I need to do repairs. Not that it matters because that oxygen tank is disconnected. Okay. So, yeah. This jump drive is connected. If I real quick... So we were at 6,000. What are we at now? $6,000. Okay. So I don't think that I can sort of chain jump drives via connector. Because if I could, we would have seen a change in range. Now granted, I also changed the mass, so I guess that could have something to do with it, but I think probably not. So this is obviously a temporary maneuver. But if I just kinda... Where is a spot? I guess I can just go off here. It doesn't... Direction and stuff doesn't matter for jump drives, so I don't need to worry too much about how this works and looks. And if I just kind of build a little stalk down here to connect everything. Do I have flight capabilities? I think I do. Yeah. I've still got at least a thruster in every direction, which I think is mostly the amount of thrust this thing has. So we should be alright. Right, and merged. Perfect. And I can actually... And I'm attached. Yeah, we've gotten an extra... just over an extra 1,000 kilometers. So that is good. Now, the last few things I need to batten down. So those two ships are connected still. We'll just move the CLC for the moment. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So everything should be attached, locked down. ready to go. All right. Now, where do I want to go? So my thought, and this is a thought I'd had long ago and I'd sort of abandoned because I didn't really need it. So we started on the Earth-like planet, of course. We started kind of on the other side of it, but that was a whole different sequence of mistakes. So, Earth is here. My thought, the Factorum, if I want to be close to them at all times, my thought was to go basically to Mars, sort of the middle of the solar system. Hang out there, maybe even close to Europa, because it's a big ball of ice, which is a big ball of fuel. So I may do that. Now, in practice, it seems like the Factorum is everywhere, so I'm kind of always at, roughly that distance from them. But yeah, I think Mars is where I want to go. The issue, the Maluga may have 2 gyros. I only have 1 on here. Let's maybe stick some more places. So this is another upgrade idea I had. Because of the obvious potential... Oh, look at that. There are 2 more reactors I forgot about in here. That's nice. Yeah, so because of the... Also, I don't know if... I just realized I connected the conveying system. I don't think any of the conveying system internally is still in existence. So this thing's a mess. Anyway, gyroscopes. They were all here. They all exploded. That was bad. I think much like how I've got dispersed power generation, I'm gonna add... I'll put in the gyros that were there, because this thing was under gyroed to begin with a little bit. But I'll also add maybe some out here, and maybe even some back in the hangar area eventually. But I think having more gyroscopes is more better, and having them in such a way that I don't lose them all in one, massive central explosion seems like a good idea. Huh. That's interesting. I guess it is called a refill station, not a healing station. So I suffered a workplace incident just now. Went to that little refill station to heal myself up. Apparently you can't heal yourself with the refill station. So that's interesting. So 3 gyroscopes. Hopefully that'll be enough. Unfortunately, because of this in fact, this connection is a little risky. I think what I'm gonna do is do a more solid one, just because I think it'll make it a lot easier for me to control this whole mess. Okay. Huh. Well, I guess I have no more Barracuda. Oh boy, it wouldn't. This place is cursed, I think. Oh, look at it, just speared through the hole. Is there anything worth salvaging off of it? Maybe. Yeah, so that is what we call clang. Sometimes that happens when you're merging grids together. And yeah, it's not very convenient for me. What is in here? That's more uranium. Let's just start. Where's the repair projector on this thing? I can't remember. I don't even know what parts of it are still parts. Oh, I think that's it. There we go. Don't really appreciate this. These things carry a lot of uranium in them. I mean, all of these are... Right, 25, 50, 75, 100, 150... I think my count's gotten off, but... A lot of uranium. Okay. Well... We've regained some fuel. Lost several ships. Let's get out of here. If I'm right... Yeah, this whole... We are now, according to the grid system, we are now Space Base 1. We should... This shouldn't cause issue. Let me just... Okay, yeah. The ships over there are fine. That would have been tragic. Okay. We should be good. Convert to ship. We now are controlling the entire station. We can very slowly yaw it around. Very slowly. With a lot of weird noises. Oh boy. Okay, I'm turning the wrong way. If I want to go to Mars, I want to do this. See you next week when we're aimed at Mars. Also, hold on. That's weird. There seem to be bits that are... We seem to stop moving. I don't know why. Are there bits that are still... Yes, there are bits that are still a station somewhere. Inside. Oh, God. Okay. I know how to solve this. We should have, hopefully, enough power to do a quick... Oh. Interesting. Okay. So, here. We'll do our 5-kilometer jump just to get clear of the junk. So, apparently, even though we were docked to the station, it didn't, I guess, count, because the station can't jump when it's a station. It didn't count the mass of it. So our jump range is now much lower. 3,000 kilometers may... I don't know how far away Mars is. I really should. So, it may be a good amount. Alright, here we go. Jump in the station. Okay. We should now be perfectly safe to move. We'll be clear of all the junk. Yep. We're rotating freely. There were probably some blocks that were blasted separate somewhere inside. So as I was trying to move, they were catching on things. So we'll angle up. The big challenge is going to be finding... Finding an asteroid that I can fit this in, and I may have to modify some things to make it work. But yeah, finding an asteroid and then getting into said asteroid with this thing, which is not very maneuverable. Let's point ourselves at... actually... yeah, that should be good. I'm gonna do a quick test to see... sort of get our ranging. So, at full range, can I jump straight at Mars? Yes. So that means either Mars is further away, or it's close enough that I'm coming out on the opposite side of Mars, and the game just doesn't care about that. Because it shouldn't let me, but sometimes it's like, yeah, whatever, you'll appear in clear space. But I'll buy that Mars is further than 3,000 kilometers. So, let's go ahead and full jump. Hey, what do you know? I overshot. Okay. Well, there are some asteroids around here. Maybe being further away from a planet isn't a bad thing? What? Okay. A Barracuda would have been handy right now. I think what I want to do is go scout some of these asteroids and see what seems good. Do I have... I don't really have a reliable scouting ship. The Tug has a cockpit. And it's actually... Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to undock the Maluga. Actually, let's... Real quick, I need to check power. Okay. So across the board, we have 7 small reactors powering stuff. The batteries... Batteries all seem fine. So we are running off reactor power only. I don't want to disconnect the Maluga until its drive is charged, because I don't think it has enough power on itself to fly and recharge its reactor or jump drive. It's okay. Let's just... Yeah, that kind of proves my point. The guns are out of ammo. The conveying system got wiped out pretty quick, so that may be part of what caused it. There may still be ammo in the cargo container, I just can't get it. But... nope. Well, there's Gatling ammo, but all the heavy caliber is gone. So I need to carry a lot more heavy caliber ammo on this thing. Anyway, scouting, scouting, scouting. I am going... I guess I could take the CLC. How much hydrogen does it have? Says full. Yeah, this should be a good enough scout. It's quick. That's the big thing, and I don't use it for anything, so I might as well use it for this. Okay. The beacon might have just died. Hello? Nope, it's on. It just got weird for a second there. I panicked that I'd misread something and everything just powered down. Anyway, I'm gonna get rid of that. We'll just have a new temporary GPS and I can find us again. Let's go find a home. The benefit of this is I do have scanning capacity, so I know this is ice. It sort of looked like a big ice cluster. I mean, I see a big crevice. That's what I'm sort of aiming for. Though it is a relatively exposed crevice. Even if I don't set in there, if I just sit the station like right here in between these three guys, that would provide a lot of safety while still being open enough that I can move ships around. Because the other issue with this plan, if I have my, if I have my ship, my station tucked away, where do I dock the Stingray? Where do I print off new ships? All of that stuff. We'll make a GPS here. We'll do it without the capitals because there we go. I think that could be a viable spot. At the very least, it's good to have a knowledge of where a bunch of ice is. What else? So I think the local cluster, what is in that guy? Okay. It looks like... that might be stone and platinum. Ooh. I think it is. Let's go mark that. This is also, again, I may have already said this, it's important to just know what's around here because obviously I'm now many, many, many kilometers away from all my known ore deposits. So this place isn't too bad either. Again, a nice big crater I can sort of tuck myself in. Let's see if we can find this platinum that's allegedly here. Do you think there's some sort of hidden pirate or something out there? I keep seeing a red light flash up. Ooh. In fact, there are a few good... There's that crevice over there, but I could tuck myself in here pretty well. That might be a good little home. I'm not seeing any surface ore deposit, so keep missing that guy. My guess is I'll believe what the scanner tells me, that there's platinum in this one. In fact, we'll make a marker. I guess the big thing I should be thinking about is what resources I need around, what resources I would want immediately next to me. The ice is definitely tempting, partially because if I'm tucked away, solar power isn't going to be very good. And if I can't find a good, well, if I can't find a good uranium source, I'm in a world of hurt. But it's nice to have some alternative fuel options that aren't, that aren't uranium. And ice would be a good one. Ice is also air and jetpack fuel. On the other hand, being next to stone where I can just kind of drill in and get all the base materials, that could be good, and I kind of like how this asteroid is set up. Specifically that crevice around the back. I think I could do some cool things there. Let's just scout out some of these other guys. See what's in the local area. Okay, it looks like that is cobalt. Well, we'll at least know what's around. I'll have to recheck these things to find, to actually like mark them. That is what are you? That might be stone and ice with maybe a little silicon. And again, the most important things to find are going to be probably uranium and iron. Oh. Okay, that's a scope. I think that's iron, stone, and silicon. So, okay, so there is iron about. I see what looks like either gold or nickel on that one. Looks like stone, ice. Don't know. It's reading as stone, ice, and silicon, but there was definitely some yellow. Let's go. Just gonna check this out. This process will be probably easier in the Maluga with a large grid detector and whatnot. It's always possible that something has either gone wrong with this ship or that maybe it's not getting a clear reading. I am thinking that just by poking around at a few of these asteroids, there's probably a spot on almost any one that I could go. Like this nice pit seems good. And what is this yellow? There. Oh. Okay, no, it is silicon. Silicon's just slightly yellow from a distance. Ooh. Oh, hold up, though. I like that crack, but I also like... Okay, I could be in just a little tunnel. I kind of like that. Where are we in relation to the things I've seen? 12 from the asteroids. Platinum nearby. There are a lot of other little asteroids about. And, okay. Is this a third little... No, so that's just a little bump. But... Okay, there are these two rings. I've got a crazy idea. Okay. Station tucked into this ring. Nice and safe. tunnel through the stone, through this pillar, into this ring, which is where the stingray lives. How cool is that? Okay, this is it. This is home. Alright. Where's my ship? There you are. Yeah, I'm digging this. We've got access to a bunch of basic resources in the stone. That should be enough to do what I need to do. And then there's plenty of asteroids in this region that I should be able to scout for materials. Now, if I'm lucky, it should be the case. The drive should be charged again on the Stingray and base conglomerate. So I should be able to just jump straight to either that GPS, or at the very least I'll have a range marker to, you know, jump as close as possible. And I'm still not loving the prospect of sticking this thing into a hole. I think there's gonna be the Stingray is a tug at this point. I think I'm gonna have to. There's gonna be some creativity involved with wrangling things into position. I also don't know exactly how I want to position them. So, how are we doing jump drive wise? Yep. Looks like we're back up to full. New home is our destination. We rotate very slowly, so let's not bother with that yet. Select new home. Okay. It'll let us jump, but obviously it won't let us jump straight to the mark because it's inside an asteroid. There we go. I've had some ideas that'll probably involve some changes to the base, because I think they will make it more interesting, especially with this new location. So my thought was stick the station in here, or it's going to be hard to tell things because of the lighting, but station in here oriented sort of so that the disc is the radius of the hole. So basically going it in top to bottom. Then the Stingray will dock basically at a 90-degree or 45? No, 90 degree angle, so it'll go like straight through, sort of oriented up and down, and I'll do some things with gravity to make it so that that makes sense. The issue with that is, what do I do with the gantry? Because the gantry, one, as it sits, the gantry is too big probably to fit in there. I may be able to squeeze the whole thing in if I go the sort of normal orientation. But I want to be weird with it. We're going to need to lose this. The whole solar farm mechanism is probably not going to be that useful in there anyway. So I've got a plan, I think, for modifying this. It's gonna involve... Actually, it may not be the worst thing, all told. So, what I'm gonna do first is cut off the command tower. In fact, Maybe I just cut off the command tower? Intriguing idea. Where would I put it? I don't know. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Our tug. This is, again, way more than this tug should ever be doing, but it's this or the Stingray. I have an idea for where I could put this, well, potentials. This is gonna be weird repurposing. So I think it'll be too long for me to show what I'm doing, so I should just tell it. I kind of want to basically chop all the bits off of the station and reposition them around, working it so that it's all stuck in the asteroid in interesting ways. I just had an idea for where to put this sort of control tower, which is maybe outside of the asteroid as a sort of like external observation point. Though honestly, thinking about it, I like the idea of reusing this thing, but maybe that would be better done with something else. Because I want to have little, like, basically tunnels through the asteroid, through the rock, going to the outside where I'll have, like, weapon emplacements positioned. Because I think that'll be cool. But I don't think that, well, where did it even go? There you are. This is not armored. So I think for one of those, I want an armored structure. So that may get stuck on something else. Yeah, so I think what I'll do... I don't think this will break anything. Hope it didn't. I'm gonna rerun some piping through there. It isn't gonna get convoluted, but so if I do that like so, then have that there. My plan is to move the sort of docking point up here at an angle different to the angle of gravity in here, and have a sort of adjustment to make gravity work. Sort of how I originally had the access to that tower being many moons ago. And I should be able to do this. Like so. If I then disconnect, dock up to this thing, I should be able to move it. Though I may need to disconnect some of the ships from it. Let's see if I can do this with the sports welder. Attached. Yeah, seems fine. I think it's just that the CLC is a much more massive vessel. I'm trying to think if there's any position I could put the tugs and I can do this. I guess if I went to one of the ends, I could point down. That would be quicker. Let's see if we can bring it to a halt. I mean, on the bright side, if nothing else, there's a lot of good utility time for the tug. Oh, crud. There's another dang military escort out there. It is getting further away, though. Does seem like there's less traffic here. So less traffic is good. It's almost definitely because we're in the middle of nowhere and has nothing to do with my altering the physics of the universe. Again, it's a weird thing showing what's going on versus feeling it. How little control I sort of have over the movements I'm making. Because it's hard to tell what is and isn't an intentional movement. This thing has a lot of weight that it's just sort of swinging around. It does a lot of things on its own. Once I get in here, I'm going to need to merge block. We'll go ahead and get those going now. I will say this is an interesting, more interesting than just grinding down the station and building a new one. Having to actually shuffle parts around. Not necessarily the easier option, but definitely more different thought having to be put into it. Okay. When the magnets catch, this is going to get scary. Oh, ho, ho, there it is. It's not too bad, though. Hopefully... Good, I didn't explode. Okay. So that is now attached. I'm not going to worry too much about cleaning stuff up. But we've now got docks there. The control thing is off that way. Now the next... Okay. It's not like the base is in pristine condition. I'm just going to cut this wall off. Because that means I can save most of the gantry. Yeah, it should all come away clean. Now, I have no idea where I'm going to put this gantry. But I know it can't be attached when I stick the base in, so... It'll have to be rearranged to somewhere. I mean, I guess if I wanted to, instead of having the dock where, you know, the Stingray docks, that thing, if I wanted to stick this in there, that could make sense. Or heck, maybe this is a free-floating structure outside the asteroid. Because it doesn't necessarily need to, you know, it's not that valuable in terms of materials, and it's also not that vulnerable, I don't think. So it may work fine. I don't know. We'll see if that catwalk is still attached. Nope. Goodbye, interior plate. Okay. So this is now free. I could... Okay. If this goes outside, I could attach that to it and have that be the sort of the deal. That could be interesting. Basically like a... It's an almost free-floating station, tethered probably with a pipeline, so that it has parts, but... Oh, right, no gravity. I kind of like that. Okay. So, the actual ring of Space Base 1, yep, is now free. Oh, I don't want to bump the gantry because it'll just float away. I also need to keep my eye on that rock. I should now be able to position this orientation-wise into the hole. Yeah, I think it's time for me to reposition. Easy enough to do. I need all that to go away. Just, it's a little bit of cheatiness, but just to make this easier and safer, have that converted to a station first. Right. Actually, no, if I'm repositioning, let's go all the way. Because I now need to push in from above, I think. Oh boy. Ah. Oh. That was closer than I wanted to be to that thing. I was sort of paying attention, but it was a struggle. Now we get in here. Magnets. Convert to ship is not possible. That's okay. I don't know why it was trying. It is now. Okay. Sun is not in the best position, but we should now be able to get ourselves in here. Alright. Line things up and then rotate. This is a very big thing trying to go into a hole. It's also... I may have misjudged. It looked like a big enough hole, but I don't know if it is. Looks like we're clear so far. Let's get out and take a peek. Actually... Okay, I think part of the issue is I'm not at the best angle. I need to lift up and come down a bit. Or, okay, or lift down and come up a bit. Okay. Going in. I mean, it's in the hole. Let's see if we can very slowly rotate. To get the conveyor walkway angled correctly. And the sun is not in a... Ho, hello. Okay, that docking port's now not useful. I mean... Now, I would say... I think that's about it. Actually... It's kind of cool, because from that walkway, if I look in here and look out, we're like looking out at ground level. And as I go around, I mean, the views over here aren't as good. That's a good view. That less so. You can still get a little sunlight. and the bedrooms. I'm liking this. I think this... Okay. I think I will call this good position. I could maybe drop it a little bit more to have that airlock in line. Because currently you'll walk out this way. Yeah, I think I'll push it in a little more. And then we will call this good. Alright. Detach the ship. And do it from right here. Convert to station. And look at that. We can see the silicon from our backyard. Yeah, but the lighting isn't great. But I think we can call that home. There are obviously some other bits to still sort out and get set up. I have some plans to immediately and in longer term situate the base inside the station. Or inside the asteroid. But all that can come later. So, for now, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out the other stuff I've done. There will be, I guess more base retrofitting adventures in the near future. So until then, bye-bye.